Why is God all about spoiling my fun? Why is he concerned with who I love? Why is he concerned with who's in my bed? All the things that we've learned. This commandment certainly flows against the current of our culture. Hi, welcome back to our YouTube channel here at Mundelein Church of the Nazarene, and this is our 7th episode in our series, Back to the Basics, where we are looking at the 10 Commandments, hopefully maybe in a new way. Today we're at the 7th Commandment, which is thou shalt not commit adultery. This is one of those commandments that's maybe difficult to observe, especially for a lifetime. Some say it's too restrictive, especially in our, some might call it, liberated day. Why is God all about spoiling my fun? Why is he concerned with who I love? Why is he concerned with who's in my bed? All the things that we've learned. This commandment certainly flows against the current of our culture and some of the shows and pop culture and magazines that we see. One thing that I think maybe that we do is we underappreciate the power of the sex drive. If we do that, God certainly does not. We must also realize that feelings are very, very powerful. When we have feelings of attraction, or we feel like we're falling in love with someone that's not our spouse, it's very hard to avoid adultery. It's almost a natural consequence of feelings that we're experiencing. That is why we must guard our hearts. It is easy at times of life when there's stress, or it's just been a hard month or hard year. Sometimes it's hard to control our feelings, or we think because we have feelings that means that we have to pursue them. I think in a previous age, in previous times, we weren't as maybe confused about some things as we are right now. There are also dangers in a sexless, loveless marriage. My advice, don't you dare create one of these in your home. Your home needs to be, your marriage needs to be a place of where love is expressed, and a marriage where sex is a vibrant part of that. We have a culture that is awash in it, and if we're going to have our homes that are lacking, we are setting ourselves up for not only temptation, but we're setting ourselves up for failure. This command is also vital for civilization. Without this command, society falls apart. Without the stability of the family, a larger cultural stability is impossible. We probably should also add that without a stable family, passing down values, passing down faith, I'll even add something more practical, passing down wealth becomes impossible. It is hard to learn. It is hard to hear advice from a parent who has emotionally or physically left a marriage. All of us have seen cases of a family that breaks apart, and some ages are more tender than others. And now it's 20 years later, 30 years later, and the damage between a parent and a child still is there because of adultery. There's a lot of benefits of marriage, which is why we have the adultery prohibition. First, I think we need to admit that men need the maturing presence of a family. Men need that structure. Men need often that presence of a wife and kids in the home. How else would we know how to dress? How else would we know that there's a difference between canary and yellow? I still don't know the difference between the two. Women also need the emotional support and the commitment that marriage provides. A place of safety and protection. And I'm not just talking about physically, I'm talking about a safe emotional place to go home to. And our kids desire the stability and the security that a family provides. I've known families when the kids are teenagers and they go out for the evening, and the dad or the mom will say to the kids, hey, remember what your last name is. It's just as a hint to know you know who you are, so behave appropriately with that knowledge. So marriage is good for everyone involved. But adultery erodes at the foundations of marriage. Adultery inevitably leads to the breakup of the family. Now, let me also say it doesn't automatically need to do that. Every case is different. But even in the case where adultery might not automatically lead to the breakup, you've still damaged the foundation. You've damaged the closeness and the intimacy of that marriage. Adultery will always harm a marriage, even if that adultery is undiscovered. There's always going to be the constant deception, efforts to avoid people finding out. There's going to be the ongoing desire to protect this side relationship. Money, love, intimacy, time, energy will always be directed at one who's not a part of the family. And that harms the other people involved. It also degrades our ability to leave a legacy. In our day, there are some people who think they have a new answer to this age-old dilemma. They think it's new. It's not new. Go back in time. This has been tried time and time and time again down through history. They say, we have an open marriage, and we are okay with it. My husband knows, my wife knows, and who are you to tell me any different? A wise response might be, so what? You're still harming the larger idea of marriage. You're degrading the concept for others who might be looking at the way you live your life. And I think wisdom will tell you, experience will tell you, regardless of how you feel today, you are introducing avenues of mistrust, blame, jealousy, and pain into your life. And you are probably degrading this idea of emotional and spiritual intimacy with that one person that you'll live the rest of your life with. In short, adultery hurts everyone, even those not directly involved. Adultery hurts men. It deprives them of the benefits of a stable relationship. It deprives them of the ability to leave a legacy. It damages women. It makes women often feel less than. Yes, women commit adultery. I think just experience tells us that men tend to drift more. So it damages the woman. It leaves her feeling less secure, less loved, less appreciated. And adultery always ends up hurting the kids. And almost in each and every situation, a first question might be, what is best for the children? And what's best for the children is not for mom and dad to find their support and intimacy outside the home. And I think we all can see that adultery degrades society. That's why adultery is condemned. Life is not about your fun. Life is not about your license to do whatever you see fit. A successful life, a good life, is far larger than that. And that's why adultery is prohibited. Thanks for joining us. Please feel free to come back, like us, subscribe to us, but always, please leave a question or challenge. We'd love to deal with it and talk about it in a future episode. We'll see you back here again next week.